From Hawkins Gym at Pekin Community High School, another broadcast of Metamora Girls Basketball on MTCO. As your Redbirds receiving votes in the latest 3A poll, come into this game with an overall record of 17-2 and a Middle-Illini Conference record of 6-1. Take on the host Pekin Dragons out of Class 4A. Their overall record with a limited schedule, 4-12 overall, 1-4 in the Middle-Illini Conference. Hi everybody, Alex Staub back with you here again from Hawkins Gym. Brad Marshall on the camera. We're very happy to have this one for you. And for the second consecutive game, Metamora's opponent has played less than 24 hours ago. Pekin is fresh off I think it was like a 19-18 point road loss to Dunlap last night. They return to Hawkins Gym tonight for the first time this season against the Redbirds. Milestone watch tonight. Kayla Pasha is 20 points away from 800 for her Metamora career. Do the math, that means she's sitting at 780 entering tonight's game. And looking down the roster, Izzy Vandestraff could get 100 tonight, but Izzy getting 100 and Kayla getting 800 are probably the only 200s that we would hit tonight in a best case scenario. Should be interesting to see how this one pans out. You know, on paper, this could easily be seen as Metamora being a heavy favorite, but that's just all pregame chit-chat for people like myself to kind of set up the game. It's all about how it finally executes to what you see on the floor here in about 3 minutes. But, you know, I think we'll try and capitalize on the tempo again, kind of like what we were talking about with Central Catholic in terms of them having such a short turnaround and trying to push the tempo and gas them out as quick as we can and make them have to go to their bench. We do have the same size roster. In fact, Pekin technically has one more player available than we do. They have Bella Ballman scratched, but everybody else on their roster is healthy. So if I'm doing my math right, that should be 13 available players tonight for Pekin. So obviously they'll have their rotation, but they certainly have the depth to counter with any potential fatigue that they may have from just having played last night. They're, of course, led by Illinois College recruit Gracie Kaiser, a senior for the Dragons. Another name to watch will be Sammy Dekoff, a senior. That name may sound familiar. Sydney Dekoff, a Dragon alum, now playing at McKendree. I think she's a senior, which, geez, time flies. But Sammy will be in the starting lineup tonight as well. They start three seniors, a freshman and a junior, the freshman being Zoe Korma. So obviously a freshman working into the starting lineup is certainly well-deserved as opposed to Metamora's highly experienced starting lineup of 4 seniors and 1 junior. We will send you right now to our pregame interview with head coach Kyle Wyanath. All right, back here on the pregame with head coach Kyle Wyanath. And coach, pretty quick turnaround, and like I talked with you last broadcast, finally get to start the Pekin series.
Yep, here we go. Postponed from a few weeks ago, and so now we get a chance to see them, twice in 2 weeks' time, I think. Yeah. So excited for the opportunity. Coming off a Tuesday, feel like we're team-wise in a good place, playing well, and trying to find each other and set each other up well offensively and playing good D. Had a good day of preparation yesterday, and we'll see if it carries over to the game.
And half game out of the conference lead behind 7-1 Morton and Washington, and obviously with not too many games left to count towards your postseason seeding as well. I'm sure that carries added significance as we get closer to that postseason seed deadline.
Yep, trying to make sure that we do everything that we can to put ourselves in the best position for the best seed, and we'll see where things fall once we get to that point. But, we're working on and focused on trying to win a game tonight and trying to leave here 1-0. But we've talked about too, we're still in control of our own destiny in terms of, goals that we want to try to accomplish for the season are still out ahead of us as long as we take care of business on our end. And so we'll focus on what we need to do this week and next week and for the weeks to come. But tonight the focus is all about trying to beat Pekin.
You talked with me after Central Catholic, maybe a little displeased about the 13 points allowed in the first quarter. Do you I know it's Central Catholic versus Pekin, 2 different teams, but do you kind of bottle up what went wrong and say, hey, this is what went wrong in that first quarter, let's at least try not to do that again?
Yeah, we had a good film session yesterday before we went down to the court and, just watched a few things, and we saw we made some uncharacteristic mistakes in terms of not getting somebody to help at the right time, or we got a little bit caught, staring at our man and not seeing the ball. And so, we just try to limit those things as best we can. And, after we got through that first quarter, we did limit, a number of those mistakes. And so the results defensively were kind of what we're looking for. But at the same time, good teams are going to give you a good shot in the first quarter, and they're going to try to make a run at some point again later in the game. And we've got to be able to respond and adapt and adjust to whatever it is that they throw at us. But we're definitely trying to get off to a good start. We don't want to give other teams too many things that are easy. That's definitely a goal of ours, game in and game out.
What have you seen out of Pekin so far? Obviously, there's a limited sample size with the limited schedule they've had, and I'm sure they're as hungry as ever to be on the floor. Their game last night against Dunlap was literally their first time on the floor since January 4th, so there's that. And now they're coming out guns blazing, playing 2 games in 48 hours. So what have you seen out of the Dragons?
Yeah, they're going to try to play some man, and I don't know, if they'll be all man, if they'll be some man and some zone, but they're going to do the things that they do well, and we're going to try to limit and reduce what it is that they do well, and we're going to try to make sure that we do our things as fundamentally sound as we can and try to play good basketball. But, after a long layoff, you want to try to keep a team from getting going, and so that's, going to be a point of emphasis as well, is like, let's make sure that we do our best to make it difficult for them to try to get any rhythm.
One note on the et cetera front, if you will. Kayla Page is 20 points away from 800 for her career. I'm not sure if you were aware of that or not, but what's it been like to coach a player of her caliber?
It's been fun, and I think she's only been getting better as the season's gone on, and I think that's the awesome part about it. We coach everybody, and trying to bring the best out of them. And Kayla's one of those kids that brings so much to the table already. And, I think she's done a great job of just continuing to challenge herself. And I know her teammates challenge her in practice. And so it's been awesome to kind of see her continue to take another step out of her shell, I guess, if you will. But she's a huge part, obviously, of what we do. And, it's not all about the individual accolades with her. But it is pretty cool when you have players in your program that have opportunities to reach some of those milestones, and so we're excited for her to have that opportunity. And whenever it happens, or if it happens, that's fantastic. And it's not something where we're going out and we're like, all right, let's get her to this threshold. We're just trying to play good Redbird basketball, but definitely she's a huge part of what we do, and we're thankful that she's a part of our team.
Number one factor to beat Pekin and move to 18-2 on the year.
Got to get a good start defensively, and just try to hound them and make it as difficult as possible. If we win the game and we're pleased with our defensive effort, I think we'll be in a good spot.
All right, thank you for the time, Coach, and we'll talk to you after the game.
Sounds good.
Maybe tomorrow is gonna be a perfect day. Maybe tomorrow it'll be a perfect day.
Welcome back to Hawkins Gym. Metamora and Pekin coming up here in about 90 seconds. They'll go to the national anthem. There is a pep band here tonight and a cheer squad, which always adds to the atmosphere, of course. And Metamora trying to move to 18-2 on the year. And Washington favorites over Canton tonight. So if both the Panthers and Redbirds win tonight, they stay atop the wins chart, overall wins chart of 18. However, Morton and Washington currently have a half-game lead over Metamora. Morton and Washington 7-1, Metamora 6-1. Metamora, let's see here, will go through something to watch from this last game is our first quarter, as Coach Wynath talked about, that 13-point first quarter by Central Catholic. If we're off to an ideal start, I think, that first quarter score has got to be single digits. He talks about a fast start, specifically a fast defensive start, and obviously that's not the case if we allow Pekin to score 10 or more points. The clock has stopped here at Hawkins Gym. Here is public address announcer Bob Neal with the national anthem.
This time, would you please stand, remove your hats, face the colors, and join in singing our national anthem as it is played by the Pekin Community High School Band under the direction of Mrs. Carly McCann.
and we will take you through tonight's starting lineups. We'll start with the Pekin Dragons. Again, they enter tonight's game 4-12 overall, 1-4 in the conference. They send out a senior number 4, Leah McClanahan, a freshman number 10, Zoe Korma, a junior number 20, Lydia Powell, a senior number 22, Sammy Dekoff, and a senior number 30, Gracie Kaiser. And the head coach is Brett McGinnis in his 4th season with a record of 27-61. Metamora starting lineup, Katie Lalamandir, a 5'5 senior guard, averaging 2.7 points per game. Alyssa Russell, 5'9 senior guard, 5 points a game. Team's leading scorer, Kayla Pasha, 231 points for 12.2 a game. Katie Ramage, second leading scorer at 8.3 per game. And Brooklyn Marshall, the 6'1 senior, 5.8 per game. Metamora looking to extend a 9-game winning streak against Pekin. It's been, well, it'll be 6 years now, 5 seasons, since Pekin has beaten Metamora. And, interestingly enough, since the 2014-15 season, that's good for 14 meetings, because you think about it, conference team, we don't play them in the postseason because we're different classes, evens out to 14 meetings. Metamora has won the last 9, Pekin won the 5 before that, so simple math in terms of series history. Starting lineups are through. About ready for tip-off of game number 20 of the 2021-22 season. A number that I don't think we even reached last year. I think we only played about 17 games or so last year. Brooklyn Marshall will jump for Metamora. Looks like Zoe Korma jumping for Pekin. And Metamora wins the opening tip. Redbirds and Dragons here from Hawkins Gym. Katie Lalamandir for Brooklyn Marshall. Pass deflected, Katie corrals it. Katie pull up from the right elbow and good. Metamora starts out with a 2-0 lead. 7:33 to go in our first quarter. Leah McClanahan, the senior, will run the point for Pekin. Pekin played in the State Farm Holiday Classic on short notice, replacing Hyde Park out of Chicago. Zoe Korma with the ball for the Dragons and might have traveled. Baseline shot from McClanahan is airballed, but an offensive rebound for Sammy Dekoff. 1 minute in, 2-0 Metamora. McClanahan waiting for some motion from the Dragon offense. Here comes Gracie Kaiser. Thought about the 3. McClanahan drive and kick. Pass all the way back to Kaiser. 6:44 in the first quarter. Korma drives on Ramage. Katie might have got a hand on that one, but Korma scores anyway. Tied at 2, 6:33, and there's the fast break bucket from Kayla Pasha. 4-2, 6:26 in the first quarter, and if Pekin's going to allow that to happen, it could be a long night. Lydia Powell, handoff for Gracie Kaiser. Kaiser drives off the screen, nearly turns it over. McClanahan drives, runs into Russell and Lalamandir, somehow able to keep it with the Dragons. Powell driving, has to spin out. McClanahan with it now, Korma nearly turned it over. Dragons, couple near turnovers, able to maintain possession. So far, Korma no good on the strong take. Rebound for Metamora, and Lalamandir with the deflection throws it to Lydia Powell. Slow start here offensively, 4-2. McClanahan with Lalamandir defending. Baseline drive, a lot of contact. Rebound for Brooklyn Marshall. Now Redbirds have a 3-on-1. Pasha blocked out by Korma. Don't know if that was maybe our best option. Probably could have just taken it up there with a little bit of a height mismatch. And a very early timeout for Pekin considering the situation. 30-second timeout with 5:26 in the first quarter. And if I'm not mistaken, we had Central Catholic already down the 2 timeouts before halftime yesterday, so I don't know, maybe we're on that same track today. And quite frankly, with it only being a 4-2 game, I'm not sure what Coach McGinnis has seen out of his team to the extent of needing to call a timeout. Both teams kind of off to a similarly slow offensive pace. Nobody's necessarily doing poorly defensively. I mean, heck, it's 4-2. 5:26 in the first quarter, baseline inbound for Ramage. Drop passes for Pasha. Ramage posting up. Good move. Right post to is strong. Rebound McClanahan almost turns it over, doesn't have her dribble, and gives it off for Korma. 4-2 Metamora, 5:12 in the first. Kessler will come in next dead ball for Pekin. Watch McClanahan running baseline there. She stops at the lane. Drive and blocked by Pasha. Rebound Russell. Redbirds kind of have numbers. Russell stops, gives for a wide open Katie Ramage to is good. 6-2, 4:44 in the first quarter. McClanahan, be careful on the defense there, Katie. Able to fight through the screen. Haven't had a foul called yet, so hard to tell what this crew may or may not call tonight in terms of calling it tight or calling it loose. Good defense there from Brooklyn. Nearly forces the turnover, and now it does. Katie Lawman-Deer for Brooklyn Marshall. Right post for 2. Pekin still falling flat out of the timeout, and frankly makes you wonder, like I said, that felt like an early trigger on that timeout. I would have used it now, especially if Metamora is able to hit double figures before Pekin scores their next bucket. Should have a masked timeout next dead ball. Kaiser trying to go for that baseline drive. Alyssa Russell, good defense to cut it off. Zoe Korma drives on Ramage, blocked by Ramage, rebound Ramage. 8-2 Metamora, 3:39 in the first. Here's Pasha. Inside for Marshall, a lot of contact. Rebound Ramage, rips it away and had it ripped away. Drops it back, but unfortunately the nearest player is Gracie Kaiser. Got to watch the hip check there. Here's Powell, open 3-ball, well short. Nearly an air ball. Dragons save it, and off Pekin. Good effort by Sammy Deekoff. Izzy Vandeschraff, the 5'10 sophomore, is Metamora's first entry. And we do have our mask timeout. 3:18 to go in the first quarter. Redbirds 8, Dragons 2. Alex not back with you here at Hawkins Gym in Pekin. The score, Redbirds 8 and Pekin 2. See, Lexi Kessler came in for the Dragons out of that last timeout. There might be another sub. 33 is Miley Hansen. Yeah, Izzy's in as well. Deflected for Lexi Kessler, and here comes Pekin trying to shake off their cold start. Gracie Kaiser for Lexi Kessler. Back up top, 25, that's Emily Matthews. Matthews, I think, started at State Farm. I could be wrong. Might have different personnel at that point, of course. Dragons fairly freshly removed from their second COVID pause of the season, the latter of which postponed our first game against them on January 7th. Kaiser, wild shot, no good. A rebound for Vandeschraff. Numbers are about even. And turnover. Now they're not. Hansen, shot fake on Lalaman-Deer, and Katie was out of bounds. So it'll be Pekin ball, 2:17 to go in the first quarter, 8-2 Metamora. Baseline inbound for the Dragons. And deflected out of bounds. That's a close call as to whose ball it is. They say Pekin ball. That's one of those that, you know, at the collegiate level, might warrant a replay review, which you obviously aren't going to see here. Kaiser in the corner up for Emily Matthews. Stopping at the point with about 2 minutes to go here in the first, and again a low-scoring start for both sides. Korma, the second freshman to start against the Redbirds this season. Ellie Van Mennen from Morton being the other. Kessler up top, Korma, and then Matthews goes down meanwhile. 1:49 in the quarter, still 8-2. Matthews, good defense there from Kayla. Miley Hansen with the basketball now. Saw significant minutes in the sophomore game. Lallemand Deer deflected and stolen. Here comes Katie, 2-on-1, pass back for Ramage, open for two. Katie Ramage, a 6-point first quarter. It's 10-2 Metamora with 1:28 to go in the opening quarter. Oh, I'll explain what I just did next dead ball. May or may not have been looking at the wrong part of the floor. Lallemand Deer fast break pass. Pesha has trouble with it and tries to save it out of bounds, but she herself was out of bounds. We'll see Elena Redgate for the first time in a couple games. She was not with the team against Central Catholic, and Cam Youngquist into the game as well. Alyssa Russell and Kayla Pesha have a seat. So Leah McClanahan is eventually going to come back into the game for Pekin. She had a blood-related situation on her shooting shirt a couple minutes ago, and I thought she was one of the players running on the other side of the floor, so I was looking down there wondering what play was going on, and then I forgot, oh wait, she's out of the game. Pekin's on the other side of the floor. Youngquist thought about that corner three, something she's made 11 times this season, one of the top three-point shooters on this Redbird roster. Ramage will take it from the right corner, no good. Rebound for Redgate. 43 seconds to go in the first quarter, 10-2 Metamora. Ramage, good move. Three for Redgate, no good. That's off Kaiser if it goes out of bounds. And I think Gracie knew it, trying to give it one last chance, knowing it was, well, I'm either going to give it a second shot or it's going to be out of bounds against me anyway. Number 5 is Ashley Davis, a junior. Wonder if she's any relation to the Pekin baseball coach, Larry Davis. I'd have to take a look at that. Inbound is for Elena Redgate. Look, it is a Izzy Vandeschraff for two. Redbirds off to a 12-2 start here in the first quarter. Much better defensively than was the case against Central Catholic on Tuesday night. Here's Gracie Kaiser trying to spin past Izzy. Kessler down to 14 seconds. Here's a three ball from Matthews. No good. Rebound for Youngquist. Redbirds presumably will hold for the last shot unless they get something perfect. 5 for Cam. Here's Katie with 4. Three ball, no good. It'll go out of bounds, and there will be 0.5 seconds for Pekin to get something off here before the end of the quarter. That'll be an inbound for Emily Matthews into Gracie Kaiser, and they are content with not even throwing up a prayer. End of the first quarter here at Hawkins Gym. Your score, Metamora 12, Pekin 2. All right, Alex, Tom back with you here at Hawkins Gym in Pekin. It'll be Pekin basketball to begin quarter number 2. Redbirds 12-2 after the opening frame. Starting 5 will be Leah McClanahan, Emily Matthews, Lexi Kessler, Gracie Kaiser. There's a 3 from Matthews, a little bit of redemption there after the miss in the first quarter. She hits that 3 ball, and it's 12-5 now. Lallemand Deer for Redgate for Pesha. Now Lallemand Deer, Russell, and Marshall, the other 2 on the floor. Marshall inside for Pesha. Good move. KP for 2. Countdown is 16 for her 800th career point. The leading active scorer, and I'd imagine, because we haven't had too many 1,000-point scorers in program history, she might be among the leaderboard for all time. I just unfortunately don't have that record, that capability of records on me. Davis for Kessler. Matthews nearly has it stolen. Davis up top for McClanahan, just about a minute into the second quarter. Redbirds up 9. This is Gracie Kaiser, defended by Alyssa Russell. Kaiser floater in the lane over Redgate is good. Not much you can do with that. It's 14-7, 6:30 to go until halftime. starters, for the most part, for Metamora. Katie Ramage, the lone starter on the bench. Marshall, nice find. Brooklyn Marshall for Kayla Pasha. 16-7, 6:05 until halftime. Leah McClanahan for Pekin. We'll see Lane Jackson next dead ball. Lexi Kessler across for Emily Matthews. Here's McClanahan trying to cross over and gets into a jump ball. Great effort there defensively by Katie Lalmandir. Also forces the turnover. Sammy Dekoff returns for Pekin. And as mentioned, Lane Jackson is in for Metamora, the junior for the Redbirds. Lalmandir will slowly bring it up floor. Redbirds trying to get back to a double-figure lead that they had at the end of the first quarter. Russell, quick touch pass for Jackson. Pasha open on the post. Can't get the roll. And Marshall, it's deflected off her out of bounds. It'll be Pekin basketball. 5:30 until halftime, 16-7. McClanahan. Pasha almost reached out there and got that steal. 5:18 until half. McClanahan really wants to make that crossover work. Has that cut off. Brooklyn Marshall deflects it for Katie Lalmandir, and Pekin's down one if the Redbirds hurry. Lalmandir, the familiar floater, is no good. Deflected away with some bodies falling to the floor there. Dragons are down 2, but they're on offense. Obviously, I'll take 2 players down on the offensive side of the ball than defensively. Can at least dictate the tempo and wait for things to even out more. Gracie Kaiser for 2. She's got 4 in this quarter. A little more even now, 16-9. Alyssa Russell inside for Pasha. That's a hard foul. I think it'll be on Sammy Dekoff. Yep. First foul of the game. Dekoff, her first, team's first, and Kayla Pasha will shoot 2. First one is good. Izzy Vandersraff, Katie Ramage both into the game. Pasha will shoot 1 more. She's got 7 points in total. Make it 8. 12 away from 800. Now, the one thing I'm almost positive with is I don't think any other player since I've started broadcasting for this program has reached 800 career points, because you've had some pretty high scorers like your Heather DeLucas, like your Reagan Bagols, like your Ann Peters, but I don't know if any of them reached 800 career points. So I'd have to look into that, and I have the data for those couple of those players, but I don't think anybody's ever reached 800 career points in the past 8 seasons. 4:10 until half, 18-9 Redbirds. Ramage for an open Izzy Vandersraff. 3 ball is good. Izzy with 5 points here in the first half. Oh, I forgot to add KP's second free throw. That's what it is. Makes it 21-9, 3:50 until half. McClanahan handoff for Kaiser. Across for Sammy Dekoff, rather. Pekin, I think, lost their 3 games at State Farm. They had a tough matchup in the opening round with Rock Island, who features ICC commit Amari McDuffie. Davis' tough take 2 is no good and pushes Izzy from behind, but the official had a tough angle on it to see if it was a true push or not. Ramage for 2, no good. Pasha kind of volleyball spikes it up floor. 3:05 in the second quarter, near turnover. Redbirds rescue that one. Here's Lane Jackson with contact, and she'll shoot. Second foul of the half on Pekin. Charged to 25, Emily Matthews. Her first, team second, and we will have a mask timeout. 3:02 to go in the second quarter. Your score, Redbirds 21, Pekin 9. here out of the second quarter mask timeout. It'll be Lane Jackson at the free throw line for Metamora after drawing the shooting foul. Cam Youngquist returned for Metamora out of the aforementioned mask timeout. I think everyone else has played, specifically in this quarter. Pekin, I think, sent in at least one sub as Lane's first free throw is good. Zoe Korma back in for Pekin, replacing Sammy Dekoff. Lydia Powell is who's in for Pekin. Free throw no good. Lane off the deflection gets her own rebound. Near turnover there for the Redbirds. Youngquist for Ramage, 2:53 until the break. Vandeschamp for Jackson, thought about that long two, trying to back in and draws a hand check foul on the Dragons. That'll be charged to 20, Lydia Powell. Her first, team's third. Baseline inbound for Youngquist. Drops it in for Redgate, flips it up and in. Elena Redgate, her first points tonight. Redbirds in front 24-9, 2:40 until halftime. Leah McClanahan at the point once again. Must have been her finger that was bleeding. I'm noticing some new tape on that left hand of hers. Zoe Korma, again, the freshman for Coach Brett McGinnis. Trying to drive on Ramage, and Katie must have got a little too much body on that shot. And that'll be her first and the Redbirds' first foul of the game here with 2:21 until halftime. Zoe Korma will shoot two, trying to get her Dragons into double figures here before the break. First one is no good. I believe she's a consistent starter for the Dragons. I'm pretty sure I mentioned her as a starter at State Farm. 2:21 until the break. Second free throw. That one is good. Pekin is in double figures. 24-10, 2:18 until half. Ramage driving. Fell and lost it out of bounds. I think at that point we're glad she just fell and didn't catch that ball rolling at her in any way, or rolling back in her direction in any way. Leah McClanahan, 2:04 until halftime. Up top for Kaiser. Finds McClanahan. They thought about the baseline cut from Miley Hansen. Kaiser watched the push-off, flips it up on Vandeschamp, and somehow gets it to go. 6-point second quarter for Gracie Kaiser. Redbirds doubling up the Dragons, 24-12, 1:40 until half. Youngquist touch pass inside for Jackson, and Lane will go right back to the free throw line after a fourth first half foul on Pekin. This one is charged to Leah McClanahan, her first, and Lane will shoot free throws. These will be the fifth and sixth free throw attempts of the game for Metamora. First one is good. Katie Lallemadeer and Alyssa Russell. Nope, it'll be just Alyssa for now, replacing Izzy Vandeschamp. Lane gets the Redbirds to match her uniform number at 25. One more for 26, and she got it. And then Lane will come out, and Katie Lallemadeer will replace her. 26-12, 1:37 until half. Redbirds, as expected, to this point. A little bit of a slow offensive start, but as of now, knock on wood, they've found their rhythm. Kaiser driving, tough shot. 8-point second quarter, 28-14 and 1:17 until half. They haven't updated it on the scoreboard yet. Oh, that's because they gave it to the wrong team. 26-14. Lallemadeer for Youngquist, fakes the three, drives in, and draws another foul on Pekin. Charge it to 20. Lydia Powell, her second, team's fifth. Emily Matthews back in for the Dragons, and Brooklyn Marshall re-enters for Metamora, replacing Katie Ramage. It'll be a baseline inbound for Alyssa Russell, 1:05 until the half, and a 12-point lead. Russell in for Marshall. Got to be careful. Yep, there's a bit of a mismatch down there in terms of overall personnel. Redbirds able to regather with 1 minute until half. Redgate. That could have nearly been a reach-in foul on Emily Matthews. They'll call it a deflection out of bounds. It'll stay with Metamora. Kayla Pasha will sub in for Metamora. Kyle Wyanath trying to give her a little bit of extra push to get into the game in time before Russell is handed the ball, thus a live ball, and the substitution wouldn't count. Russell in for Youngquist. 52 seconds until half. Redbirds up 26-4. Oh, look at this. Oh, Korma, yeah, you got to call that. Youngquist got bopped in the nose, too. Zoe Korma, her first, team sixth. And at that point, if you feel like you're being overpowered that much, just like maybe try and emulate a shot. You could draw a shooting foul there. Pasha, no good. Interesting the way they've called the first half. They didn't call that, but no big deal. This is Emily Matthews for the Dragons. 37 seconds until half. Fresh off a college game last night, ICC over number 5 Lakeland. I just about said shot clock should be off, but obviously we may have to start worrying about that next year. I understand it's the latest update is it's up for a vote. They've determined that it will be up for a vote for next season, I think is the latest in the never-ending shot clock debate. Youngquist almost had the steal, goes out of bounds. It'll be Pekin ball with 13 seconds to go until halftime. 14-point quarter for Metamora. Pekin much improved offensively in the second quarter with a 12-point quarter themselves. Down to 7 seconds, Miley Hansen drives in and throws it right to Alyssa Russell. Redbirds don't have any time to get anything off. Russell, oh! Well, that would have been one way to end the half. Metamora 26-14 at the break. We'll take a couple minutes off, be back with halftime stats in the second half. Alex Tom back with you here at halftime. The score, Metamora 26, Pekin 14. We'll take you through some halftime stats. For Pekin, Leah McClanahan, 1 foul, has not scored. Zoe Korma, 1 foul, 1-2, 1 of 2 at the line, 3 points. Lydia Powell, 2 fouls, has not scored. Sammy Dekoff, 1 foul, has not scored. Emily Matthews, 1 foul, 1-3, 3 points. Gracie Kaiser, 4 twos, 8 points. Pekin as a team, 5 twos, 1-3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 6 fouls, and 14 points. Halftime box for Metamora is Evan DeSchraff, 1-2, 1-3, 5 points. Kayla Pasha, 3 twos, 2 of 2 at the line. Countdown is 12 to 800 for her career with 8 first half points. Katie Ramage, 1 foul, 3 twos, 6 points. Brooklyn Marshall, 1-2, 2 points. Lane Jackson, 3 of 4 at the free throw line, 3 points. And Elena Redgate, 1-2, 2 points. Redbirds as a team, 9 twos, 1-3, 5 of 6 at the free throw line. Just 1 foul in the first half that was called on Katie Ramage. And at 26 points, quarter by quarter, 12-2 in the first, and way more even, 14-12 in the second. So Metamora obviously going to try and flush that second quarter out in terms of the ability of Pekin to come back and at least make it competitive, because if they had, you think about it, they duplicated that second quarter, they'd only have 4 points to have. So obviously a much better second quarter from the Pekin offense. So defensively, that second quarter, we'd ideally like it to not happen again, especially the 8 points from Gracie Kaiser. I mean, obviously she's definitely going to be their top offensive player. So, you know, by game's end, you maybe spot her 8-10 points to begin with, assuming we do our job against her. But obviously she's on pace for 16 points for the game, so maybe attack her a little more strongly defensively in the second half. Offensively, I think we're not doing too shabby. 12 and 14, well above our quarter averages for the season, which probably should have in front of me before I reference that statistic. Metamora entering the game actually under both of them. averaging 14 in the first quarter, 15 in the second quarter. They got 12 and 14, so a little below average, not by a whole lot. Metamora averaging 51 points per game roughly. They're almost exactly on pace for it. Obviously, you're not going to be exactly on pace because it's an odd number, but you get the point. It will be Pekin basketball according to their scores table, as it should be to begin the second half. I had a situation last night at the ICC women's game where the arrow on their scoreboard was not on the same page as the arrow on their scores table, so I sometimes need to do a double take and check myself with what was at the table. Pekin ball, Zoe Korma will inbound momentarily to Leah McClanahan. They also have Sammy Diekoff, Gracie Kaiser, and Lexi Kessler starts in favor of Lydia Powell. This is Diekoff with it for the Dragons for Kessler. Just underway here in the third quarter. Alex Staub with you. Brad Marshall on the camera. Game 20 of the 2021-22 season. Deflected off pace. That might be off Marshall. Would have been Pekin ball anyway. But Dragons will inbound baseline. Halftime score of 26-14. 7:36 in the third quarter. Drop pass for Kaiser. Russell slips for a moment. McClanahan gives back for Korma. Again, Zoe Korma looks like one of two freshmen on the roster. Kaiser for three. Let's not let her get hot. This could become a close game quicker than we want it to. 9-point game. Lalamandir for Russell. Baseline jumper, good. At least make back two of those points. 28-17, 7:05 in the third quarter. It's probably the looming negative to this point of the game is the defensive effort against Gracie Kaiser, but other than that, they've been playing fairly well. Handoff for McClanahan. Across for Diekoff. Kaiser left wing, pulls up for another three, no good. Got to be careful, Katie. Yep, that's a foul on Katie. That's her first, team second of the game, first of the half. Be a baseline inbound for Korma. Drop pass, nearly out of bounds. Kessler saves it. McClanahan nearly lost it out of bounds as well, but the Dragons still have a chance to get back within 10 points. It was 17-26 not all that long ago. Korma crossover, spin move on Ramage, two no good. A rebound for Kayla Pasha, who is pushed, no whistle. 2-on-1, not in her favor, has it ripped out of bounds. It'll be Metamora ball. .6:17 in the third quarter, 28-17. Now what? Oh. Coach McInnes is at the half-court line like, hey, I have a towel, and the one official was about to go way over yonder to try and find one. Get the ball cleaned off here. It'll be a baseline inbound for the Redbirds, up 11 with 6:17 to go here in the third quarter. Russell will take it. Inbound for Marshall. Flips it up, can't bank it in. Rebound for Gracie Kaiser. Pekin yet another shot to get within single digits. Gracie Kaiser could have easily pulled up for three. They go with Korma. This is Diekoff. Drives on Pasha, kick out for Korma. Tries that spin move again for Kessler. Back to Diekoff. Here's Korma. I didn't see a clean block, but she misses the shot anyway. Katie Ramage with the basketball for Katie Lalamandir. Starters for Metamora to begin the third quarter if you haven't caught that already. Brooklyn Marshall inside for Kayla Pasha, two is good. Pescia has 10. Countdown is 10 for 800 career points. 30-17, 5-10 in the third quarter. See if Kayla can break it tonight. If not, she'll almost certainly do it against Canton, knock on wood. Again, Redbirds will play at home against Canton on Saturday, part of a boys-girls doubleheader. Straight up, good no call. Loose ball, Pekin ball. Miley Hansen back in for Pekin. They've kept a pretty consistent rotation. Elena Redgate will sub in for Metamora. Ashley Davis, Emily Matthews, Lexi Kessler, Miley Hansen have all seen action in each of the quarters so far, with the exception of Davis and Matthews not having played in the fourth quarter or third quarter yet. Nobody's played in the fourth quarter yet. Korma loosely defended by Ramage. Up top, this is Diekoff. 4:36 in the quarter. McClanahan. Now 33 on 33. Hansen on Redgate, or Redgate on Hansen, I should say. Korma drive and kick for Hansen. Shot fake fell. No push. That's off Katie. Yep. It'll be Pekin ball. 4:21 to go in the third quarter. 13-point lead. Quick inbound for Kaiser. Too easy for her, but she misses the shot. Rebound for Elena Redgate. And turns it over for Korma, who stepped out of bounds, thankfully for us. Izzy Vanderschraff into the game, replacing Kayla Pescia. .414 in the third quarter, 13-point lead. Ramage inbound for Russell. Redgate at the point. That's a foul. A reach-in foul should have been called there on Miley Hansen. Russell in the corner, baseline drive, has space. Two with contact, can't get the roll, but will draw the first foul of the half on Pekin. Charge the 22, Sammy Diekoff, her second, team's first. And Alyssa Russell will shoot two. Her first free throw attempts of the ball game. First one is a swish. 31-17, 3:56 to go in the third quarter. Second free throw, no good. Tough spot. Oh, nearly out of bounds. Had Diekoff actually placed that 1 foot down, I think she would have been out of bounds, but she kind of had it half in the air, kind of sitting on that back heel, so she was able to stay in bounds. McClanahan nearly had the baseline. 14-point lead, 3:38 in the third. Here's Diekoff for Hansen. Bounce pass for Kaiser. Dragons trying to get it back to single digits. They had it there for a little while. They obviously won't get it this possession, but certainly not too far from it. Hansen for three, short. Tough rebound. Izzy Vanderschraff deflects it for Alyssa Russell. That's a lot of contact for no whistle on either party. Jump ball goes to Metamora, and we will have our mask timeout. 3:12 in the third quarter. Redbirds 31, Dragons 17.
Maybe tomorrow is gonna be a perfect day. Maybe tomorrow it'll be a perfect day.
Alex Thom back with you here. 3:12 to go in the third quarter. Out of the third quarter mask timeout. It is Metamora 5-3. Not a whole lot of scoring this quarter. Kind of similar to a majority of the first quarter. Metamora not breaking double figures until the latter moments of the opening frame. 14-point lead, 3:10 in the third. This is Katie Lalamandir for Kayla Pescia. Inside Marshall, that was deflected off a Dragon. Yep. It'll stay Metamora ball, 3:03 in the quarter. Izzy with the near baseline inbound. For Pescia, leaps up in the air for that one. Passes, that's off Pekin. Yep. Off the hand of Sammy Diekoff. Now we still, we still haven't seen Lydia Powell in this third quarter. She is the first one on the bench in terms of looking left to right on the Pekin bench. 2:55 in the third. Lallemand-Deer, moderately easy drive, but she gets a hand check well before the shot. Second foul of the half on Pekin is charged to Leah McClanahan. That's her second. And again, the team's second foul. It'll be a baseline inbound for Vandeschraff. 2:53 in the third, same score of 31-17. Marshall draws the foul. They've, quite frankly, called a lot of fouls on Pekin compared to us. Korma, her second, team's third. The foul count for the game is 9-2 in our favor. Vandeschraff for Marshall, and then they don't call that. Oh, boy. Ramage inside, lost that. Korma, and then they don't call that. Or that. Oh, geez. Let's get some consistency here, folks. Oh, this would be anger that you're hearing instead of laughter if we weren't up 31-17. Ashley Davis in for Pekin, replacing Sammy Diekoff. Izzy Vandeschraff in for Katie Lallemand-Deer. Into the corner is Ramage. Vandeschraff across for Lallemand-Deer, 2:28 in the third. Pesha has space, little push, but she gets to go in anyway. 8 points away. 33-17, 2:16 to go. You think, Brad, if she breaks 20, I try and pry the first ever interview out of her? She has managed a couple of TV interviews, but those are obviously only a minute or two. See if maybe by senior night we can get an interview out of her. Timeout, Pekin, 30-second timeout called by Coach Brett McGinnis, so we'll keep it right here with 1:59 to go in the third. And Gracie Kaiser, a three-pointer in the third quarter, all of Pekin scoring so far. And in fact, she's got 11 of their 17. Illinois College, her future home. What's their mascot? I don't think I've ever thought about what their mascot is. I know they're blue and white, like Milliken, but yeah, haven't they hosted a small school super sectional before too? I think either 1A or maybe they have. Maybe that's one of the places that has a super sectional doubleheader. Because I know in the past there have been some venues that have one class of super sectional played back to back, 1A, 2A, or 3A, 4A, or whatever. 1:59 in the third quarter, 33-17. Inbound for Korma to Kaiser, who nearly traveled. That's an extension. And, okay, whatever. Call a foul on Katie Lallemand-Deer, even though it was Gracie Kaiser that extended the forearm. Katie's second, and just the third foul on Metamora for the game, which is probably why Kyle Wine is pretty content with that call. Ashley Davis deflected. Gracie Kaiser corrals it, 1:49 in the third. Blue Boys and Lady Blues for Illinois College. So the future Lady Blue is Gracie Kaiser. It's one of those things like the White Sox. Do you say White Sox? You don't ever, in terms of a White Sox player, do you say they are a White Sox? Or do you say they are a member of the White Sox? It's kind of one of those situations there, too, with Lady Blue versus Lady Blues. 1:17 in the third quarter. Izzy almost got the steal. I know they haven't called much on us tonight, but you still got to be careful. You never know when those whistles might start coming in. 1:07 in the third. Hansen was ready to extend that elbow. Got to be careful there. 1 minute flat in the third. Kaiser thought about pulling up for three. Pesha says, I'll steal that instead. And then Korma steals it right back. And Ramage tried to send that one back to Metamora. But the foul is on Brooklyn. Brad and I both in disbelief. If anybody, you'd thought the foul would have been on Katie Ramage because she was the one that went for the block. I guess Brooklyn kind of went for a block too, but it appeared that Katie made more contact, if anybody, than Brooklyn. First free throw is made for Zoe Korma. Lane Jackson in for Metamora, and 25 counterpart Emily Matthews in for Pekin. One more free throw for the freshman. Zoe Korma has 4 points tonight. Their second leading scorer behind the 11 points from Gracie Kaiser. Misses that second one, and a rebound for Katie Ramage. Up floor for Kayla Pesha. Katie Lallemand-Deer has it. 45 in the third. Pesha leaps up for that one. Ramage Fires it up for Lallemand. 15-point lead, waning moments of the third quarter. Cross court for Ramage for Lallemand. Pesha in for the corner, Vandeschraff down to 28 seconds. Up top for Lallemand. Jackson for Vandeschraff. Redbirds working the ball. Lallemand for Ramage. Down to 16 seconds. Up top for Lallemand. Redbirds seem to be wanting to hold for that last shot. Ramage deflected right to Pesha, who gets basically poked in the face. Thankfully, it's out of bounds for Metamora anyway. And Davis for Korma. 3.6 for the Redbirds to get something off here at the end of the third quarter. Izzy Vandeschraff with the inbound for Katie Lallemand. Are we just going to hold it? I don't think we knew what was on the clock. A rare lapse there. End of the third quarter, 33-18, Metamora in front. Alex Dobb back here at Hawkins Gym for the fourth quarter. Metamora with a 33-point lead. Well, if we get a 33-point lead right now, that would mean we're up 33-0, which I wouldn't imagine we would have been able to hold Pekin scoreless to this point of the game. But fourth quarter, it's Pekin with the basketball. Their point guard, Leah McClanahan, running the show, along with Gracie Kaiser. Looks like Ashley Davis. Let's see, what do we got here? Emily Matthews. Missing one more. Miley Hansen, I think. 3 is no good. Yep, and Hansen is the fifth player. That's off Kaiser. Metamora basketball, 7:34 to go in the fourth. You got Russell, Youngquist, Redgate, Jackson, and Pesha. Again, Kayla, 8 points away from 800 for her career. Here's Lane Jackson, blocked, and they don't call a foul. And based on the way they've called the game, considering it's so heavily in favor of Metamora, I'm surprised they didn't blow the whistle on that. Leah McClanahan. Foul count for the game now 9-4 in favor of Metamora. McClanahan for Hansen. You got to be careful, Lane. Well, they don't call it anyway. Miley Hansen for 2. 33-20, 6:50 to go. This game's far from over. Right through, well, not right through the hands, but off the hands of Kayla Pesha out of bounds. Pekin could get this to an even 10 points here with a 3-ball. McClanahan with the ball for the Dragons, across for Emily Matthews. Metamora holding opponents to 27.4 points per game entering tonight. Pekin not too far away from that with still 6.5 to play. Kaiser no good, and that, well, they say deflected out. Lexi Kessler for Miley Hansen. 6:24 to go. Redbirds by 13. Not going to bite anybody with that fake when there was nobody there. 6:20 in the fourth quarter, 33-20. Redbirds trying to get win number 18 of the 2021-22 season. Already the best start in program history. Kessler for Kaiser. A little bit of a personnel change coming up. Lallemand and Marshall at the table. Ashley Davis up top for Kessler. It might be a full line change at this rate. McClanahan floater no good. Rebound for Alyssa Russell. That's a lot of contact. There we go. McClanahan, her third. Team's fourth. And now I think we'll see who they take out. Nope, so it's not going to be all starters in. Lallemand, Ramage, Marshall. 5:40 to go, Redbirds by 13. Redgate. trying to get it away from McClanahan. She does. 5:30 to go. Redgate right post. Flips it up with a push from behind by McClanahan. No whistle. McClanahan gets it across with 5:17 to go. Emily Matthews fires it across for Lexi Kessler. Kaiser thought about the three. Davis deflected off Ramage if it goes out. Yep, it'll be Pekin ball. 5 minutes flat to go in the fourth quarter. I want to say ball game, but this is simply just close enough that I don't know if I'm ready to say that. Emily Matthews for Gracie Kaiser. 3 ball is short. Rebound for Ramage, who's tripped up. The only reason she lost that ball is she was tripped, albeit unintentionally. 4:51 in the fourth quarter, 13-point lead. Inbound for Kessler is stolen by Brooklyn Marshall. Redbirds try to extend this lead, make things a little more comfortable, because I don't know if we're there. That's a reach-in foul. Come on, guys. I mean, it ended up being a steal, but that's a lot of contact for a steal. Kaiser for Davis. This is Emily Matthews for Lexi Kessler. Gracie Kaiser with 4:21 to go, driving in on Marshall, and then they call that. Brooklyn Marshall, her second, team's fourth. Kaiser will shoot 2. The officials finally deciding to even out the foul count, I suppose. 2 free throws for Kaiser. First one is good. As Evan Deschraff will get her first fourth quarter minutes, Kayla Pesha returns as well. Zoe Korma in for Pekin. Still trying to figure out maybe if there's something I don't know about, but we haven't seen Lydia Powell since the second quarter, and she started. Ramage for Pesha. Almendier should have a mask timeout next dead ball, 4:05 in the fourth. Pesha underneath for Marshall. Right baseline is Ramage. Shot fake and drive in. Flips it up with contact and one. Katie Ramage, her first point since the first quarter. Foul is on Zoe Korma, her third, team's fifth, and we have a mask timeout. 3:58 to go. Redbirds 35, Dragons 21. Alex Stott back with you out of the fourth quarter mask timeout. It'll be a 3-point play attempt for Katie Ramage. Metamora's first points of the fourth quarter right there from Katie. It's no good. Rebound deflects to her. That's a lot of contact there from Diekoff. Pushed her in the side there. Korma with the steal. 3:46 to go. Korma. Well, yeah, that is a foul. I'll give him that. Ramage, her second, team's fifth. Korma will shoot 2. Korma, third trip to the free throw line tonight. Had a trip each in the second and third quarter, respectively. First one is good. 13-point game, 3:44 to go. Russell will re-enter next dead ball, so if Korma makes that, which she does, in comes Alyssa Russell, replacing Brooklyn Marshall. 35-23, 3:44 to go, so unless Kayla goes on a bit of a scoring run here, I'm not thinking 800's happening tonight. Korma shot fake and drive, bounce pass into some trouble. Kaiser, big three, no good. Rebound for Ramage, and Consistency. I mean, I know that's a foul in our favor, but they haven't been calling that the last couple possessions. Korma, her 4th, team 6th. Metamora will be in the bonus on the inbound. Lallemand being bodied up by Kaiser, and well, they finally decided to go back to the way they were calling the game earlier by some magic flip of the switch. Kaiser, her 1st, team 7th. It'll be 1 in bonus. Because they went through that stretch where, like I said, I thought they were just trying to even out the foul count, and now they're calling it like they were. Lallemand, 2 shots. Or actually 1 in bonus, my bad. Now it's 2 shots. First one is good. 36-23, 3:28 to go. Second one is good, and Metamora will call time. 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. 37-23 with 3:28 to go. Reminder, next broadcast will be Saturday, part of a boys-girls doubleheader. Boys will play Bradley, Bourbonnais, Bourbonis, Tomato. They'll play them at 5, and the girls will play Canton at 6:30. And the next time we play Pekin will be senior night, February 1st. At 7 o'clock at Tepke Gym. I would imagine the senior festivities will be, we'll shoot for 6:40-ish maybe. Anytime between 6:30 and 6:40 would be my best guess. Kaiser with the behind-the-back dribble. McClanahan for 3 is good. 3:10 to go. Like I said, far from over. Vanderschaff inside for Russell, a little hard. That's off Korma. That was pretty clearly off Korma. They got to watch that. 3 minutes to go. Got to watch the extension from Kaiser. 2, no good. Rebound, friendly fire there between Ramage and Lallemand. Oh my goodness. I mean, yes, I know. You should be happy, Alex. It's a foul in your favor. No, that's not how they've been calling this game. So inconsistent tonight. Kaiser, her 2nd, team's 8th. 1 in bonus for Ramage. Free throw is good. .38-26, 2:54 to go. Second one, got it. 4-point 4th quarter for Katie. 39-26, 2:50 to go. Kaiser handoff for McClanahan. Korma runs into Russell. Surprised they didn't call that. It's part of the inconsistency of the officiating that we've had tonight. For the most part in our favor. Korma for 2, no good. Pesha, her 1st, team 6th. And Korma will shoot 2. Like I said, 80% of the time it's been in our favor, but it's just frankly been inconsistent officiating tonight, without a doubt. Korma, 1st free throw is no good, and a line change for Pekin. Kind of surprised. This game's still within reach, but Pekin basically just made a wholesale change there with a couple of completely new entries. Carly Williams and Chloe Golden among them. You see Dalen McFarland as well. 2nd free throw was good. I mean, this game's not over yet. Not sure why they would pull their lineup like that. Russell drives in, floater with a little bit of contact, no good. Got a rebound, flips for Pesha, 2 is good. Timeout, Metamora call. I think we called it. Had to have been, because that's where 2 out of the 3 officials were. Yep. We call a 30 with 2:15 to go. So Fulls the rest of the way. God forbid we need them. 14-point lead. Kayla Pesha 6 points away from 800. So here's the ethical dilemma for Kyle Wynath. Do you keep Kayla in to try and get the 800 tonight, since she's only 6 points away? Or do you acknowledge that Pekin's already made a line change and they've taken her out? I was going to say, no mercy. So looks like we've seen the last of Kayla Pasha tonight. And we will have to wait until Saturday to see if she breaks 800 career points, which she would just have to have come out flat for her to not get 800 on Saturday. Dalen McFarland for Miley Hansen. Now Carly Williams. Lane Jackson got a deflection in there. Miley Hansen nearly turns it over. Surprised he didn't call Izzy for the bump there. Lydia Powell, first time we've seen her in a while. Williams no good, and it Plinko's all the way back out for Powell. Williams in the right corner. Hansen deflected by Redgate. It'll stay. I don't know why, and Brad, please tell me I'm not the only one that saw that. It looked like the official was about to signal our ball, which wouldn't have made any sense. But I think he corrected himself before even bringing that arm down. Good idea with the drop pass. Lane gets the steal with 1:10 to go. I think we can call it now. Redbirds will move to 18-2 overall, 7-1 in the Middle Illini Conference. I think, Brad, you said Washington was up pretty big on EP, right? Or no, it was on Canton. 2 is good. Izzy makes it 43-27, which presumably will be our final score. We'll see what happens here. Dalen McFarland across for Carly Williams. Baseline left for Hansen. 2 is a little long. Rebound that. See, I'm not surprised they called that a foul on Izzy, but again, not to keep harping on it, but the officiating pretty inconsistent tonight. Inbound for McFarland. Chloe Golden. This is Lydia Powell. Cross for Hansen, deflected, and we'll see who it's off. Redgate. $16-point lead, 20 seconds to go. This is Miley Hansen for Dalen McFarland. Redbirds are going to win this one. Pekin, for some reason, content with running out the clock. Shot no good, and that'll be your final score. Metamora 43, Pekin 27. Redbirds again move to 18-2 overall, 7-1 in the conference. We'll be back with head coach Kyle Wyneth, and got a contemplation for players, so we'll TBA on that. But we'll be back with the post game. Redbirds win 43-27. Back here post game with head coach Kyle Wyneth, and coach, well, we won, but I'm not quite sure where to start with this one. Obviously, there are some negatives, but where do you start with a game like this? Because I don't know if this is maybe the most positive you can feel after tonight.
Well, it's an opportunity to learn, and we haven't had a ton of road games, but it's an opportunity for us to come over here. We know going on the road, sometimes you just got to tough one out. Tonight seemed to be one of those deals. The first half we were getting a little bit more in transition. Second half not as much in transition, but we were getting good opportunities. And with the way Pekin plays, we talked about this before the game and during the game and after the game. Some of their possessions, it'll be 30, 40 passes it feels like, and you're out there defending for a minute and a half. And so with long possessions on defense, you get limited opportunities sometimes offensively. And so, part of that was some long possessions that they had offensively, which is, a credit to us defensively. But then we didn't capitalize at times on some looks that maybe we had early on in the third quarter that we couldn't quite get to go, or, this, that, or the other. But in that third quarter, we scored 7, but we held them to 4. And so even when we were a little sluggish, I'm still proud of the way we defended. and kept coming after it. So, it's one of those deals where, sometimes you feel a little bit better about one than the other, but at the end of the day, if you're leaving Pekin with a win, I feel pretty good about that.
Gracie Kaiser for them, one of their better guards, number 30, had 8 points in the second quarter, ended up finishing with a team-high 12. But honestly, I thought, especially those second quarter points, she's a talented enough player that the way she was creating space on those shots, there's not much you could have done.
Yeah, we talked about that. She's a nice player, and we forced her into some tough shots, and she made some tough shots. You got to give her credit, and sometimes, we want to talk about let's shut everybody out all the time, and sometimes a good offensive player is going to find a way to score, and credit to her because we told the girls exactly that at half. Like, look, she made some tough shots. We've got to challenge her to continue to make tough shots. We just want to make sure we don't let her get going by starting to give her some easy ones. And I thought we did a nice job in the second half of trying to limit her opportunities again.
Was any part of the discussion, either in any huddle from when she made that 3 in the first quarter onward, was any part of that, hey, she gets hot, the whole team gets hot, and this could end up becoming a possession or two game? Or were you kind of pretty confident in how things were going defensively and not putting so much weight on just that 1-3?
There's momentum swings all throughout the game, and not that one play necessarily swings momentum, in huge ways in the other direction. But, we just try to stay steady. We just try to play consistent defense. Not too high on the highs, not too low on the lows, just pretty even keeled, but keep bringing the same level of effort and intensity with every defensive possession that we can bring. And so far throughout our season, we've had pretty good luck, with that approach. And so we try not to get too caught up in one possession or one play. Obviously, if it sparks a little run, then obviously it's something we address and we talk about. But I thought we stayed pretty steady. We stayed pretty calm. We didn't get rattled. We just kept trying to play Redbird basketball.
On to Canton.
All right.
All right, Coach, thank you for the time.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, back here with Izzy Vandeschraff and Izzy, an interesting game, kind of the way I phrased it with Coach Wyanoth. I know you won by 16. You kind of had it at that point range for a majority of the game, but I don't know if this is maybe the most positive you can be after a 16-point win, but that's probably a good thing, though, right? Because you don't want to come away too positive, because then that could get in your heads going into Saturday, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What was working so well, though, to, I feel like there were some low spots here and there, but to keep it at that teens point range, what were you guys doing so well tonight to kind of keep it in that moderately comfortable point range, do you think?
I feel like just our offense, we're just all around, we are very good at a cutting team. So just cutting to the ball and getting open down by the block is definitely one of our strengths. So even if we have a letdown on defense, our offense is going to make up for it.
Pekin, obviously a pretty scrappy team at times, and obviously we could spend all the time in the world on whether or not things get called, but kind of talk about the mentality a player needs to have when maybe things aren't being called so consistently and you just have to play it as it goes. Kind of what is that mental, or depending on the scrappiness of the team, maybe physical battle that a player has to go through?
You definitely have to think, just go up strong, because if you don't go up strong, you're probably not going to get anywhere close. And it also helps that Coach Wyanoth helps us get mentally tough during practice with that kind of stuff.
You go into Canton on Saturday. Obviously another team that we maybe didn't play our best basketball against at their place, but their gym kind of does that to you. What do you think you guys would like to carry from this Pekin game in the Canton to hopefully get the, I guess it would be, second conference sweep of the season with Canton on Saturday?
We definitely need to keep up our defense intensity and just our communication overall on offense and on defense.
Well, Liz, thanks for the time and congrats on the W.
Thank you.